Hey, what's going on YouTube? Spawny here. Today we are back with another top 10 video. Today we're going to be doing my top 10 decks for the March 31st format. Again, as with all my top 10 videos, guys, these are just my personal opinions and what I believe may be correct and what the best decks may be in this case. So feel free to disagree with me down in the comment section below and explain why, but let's please do try to keep it clean, and of course also try to keep it clean during when arguing with someone who is not me as well. But yeah, guys, also quick side note, I really do enjoy doing these top 10 videos, so if you guys have any suggestions or things you would like to see in a top 10 video, any topics, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section below or on Twitter. And we can probably get that video done. Without further ado, let's move into my top 10 decks for the March 31st, 2017 format. Starting off at number 10, Barrier Statues. This deck has a lot of power. We've already seen it, not a lot of power necessarily, but it's like a lot of locks was the more correct term. Just a lot of soft locks with all the Barrier Statues, cards like Fossil Dyna and Thunder King as well. Card Demise is at 3. So this deck has all of its draw power all the way to refuel its back row, just set a bunch of traps, activate Card Demise, summon a Barrier Statue, and set more traps. Just a very good deck overall. Very solid deck. It's a very good deck to take to a regional at least. We've seen it top multiple regionals in Full Power Zoo. Yeah, and just again, as I said, all the traps, Mirror Forces, Solemns, Phantom Knight traps protect your soft lock cards. This deck definitely has a lot of potential in that aspect. I'm going to go with Barrier Statues for number 10. Number 9, Chainburn, everybody's favorite deck. JK, everybody's least favorite deck. Card of Demise, traps, yeah, those points are self-explanatory. There's going to be a lot of commitment to the field again. We may very well enter into a here's my board, put up a huge board, break my board again format. And like decks like Zoo will still be around, guys. Don't think the deck's gone. I was completely wrong if I ever thought. There was a moment where I thought that deck would not be nearly as present anymore. That was completely incorrect. I was 100% wrong about that. But yeah, a lot of commitment to the field will still be happening with a lot of decks setting lots of back row. If you're not ready for this deck, it can blow you out. There was a time back in a point in history with this game where people cited Royal Decree in almost every deck just because they knew that they were going to play against Chainburn. This deck can be a huge problem for you if you're not ready for it. Definitely consider citing your Denko Sekkas, especially because Paleo will be around as well. I'm going to go with Chainburn for my number 9. Number 8, Metal Foe. These next couple decks could be rearranged in any order. Personally, though, I went with Metal Foe for my number 8 spot. The Pendulum mechanic is not checked yet in the TCG like it is in the OCG, so we still have the full Pendulum power. So you can still Pendulum 5 monsters from your extra deck like normal. Sangan being back to 3. So this is something that me and my friends have talked about a lot, is the ability to pop Sangan with a Metal Foe, search a card, and set a card from your deck. And you can search hand traps. You can search Ghost Ogre, Veiler, Max C, Ghost Ash when it comes out. I believe Ghost Ash is a 0 attack. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, though. But you just have tons of hand traps you can search, especially with Max C being at 1 now. Being able to search it with Sangan is very good. Also, the ability to special summon Gofu from your hand, normal summon Sangan, get your 2 tokens, make an Omega, and then search your hand trap, and then just do Metal Foe things is another way this deck could go. It had no direct hits, but it did get Kieran hit, which Kieran was a huge part of this deck. Being able to set up your boards with a Kieran and a Quick Play Fusion set to make Alkahest was just so much disruption for your opponent to get over. So Kieran being gone does definitely hurt this deck. That's why I didn't feel like I could put it higher on this list, just because Kieran was such a huge part of the Metal Foe deck. Since, playing 3 Bambukus to search out 1 card is pretty good. Means that card means something to you, right? But yeah, so I'm going to go with Metal Foe for my number 8 pick, because I do think this deck still has a lot of potential to it. It's just going to have to adjust its play style and adjust some of its strategies. Number 7, DDD. Now, I put DDD on here for the main reason being is that Max C's at 1. And anyone who played DDD knows that if you went first and you opened decent, the only card you were really cared about seeing was Max C. Because just you had to combo off, and that would involve like 13, 14 special summons, or you just make like D-Arc and pass. But this deck still has a lot of potential to it. It can make very, very powerful boards in the form of like Crystal Wing, Segfried, with Hope Harbinger, or like Kali-Yuga, Crystal Wing. So it has a lot of very powerful things and a very, very high ceiling potential for plays. And it has decent recovery too. So I definitely think with Maxi being at 1, we could see more people try to play DDD again. And I definitely at least think at the beginning of the format, before we get True Dracos, I did not put anything from Maximum Crisis on here, so True Dracos, sorry, you're not going to be on here yet, or True Kings. But I do think DDD definitely could see play again. It has a very high ceiling, Maxi's at 1, and can produce some very, very powerful boards with lots of soft lock monsters, lots of stun monsters. So, yeah, I'm going to go with DDD for my number 7 pick. Number 6, the Lawn Mowing Lightsworn zombie deck. So this deck, grass is untouched, so this deck doesn't have that. Has a very, very high ceiling for plays. When you activate Lawn Mowing, you mill tons of cards. You mill Lightsworns, Mizukis, Unizombies. You mill tons of cards. Very, very high resource pool as well for this deck. I've watched this deck play. I've played against it. It was not a fun time. The guy made like 2 Omegas and like a rank 4, and he could just keep going with Fairy Tale Snows as well. So very high resource pool for this deck, and it's super explosive. 1 grass and this deck just goes. So I definitely think this deck could see play. Or could continue to see play. We've seen it top YCSs even. I believe it was Prague, correct me if I'm wrong, that the deck got a top 32 spot at, and I believe it's also gotten a couple other top 32 spots here at American YCSs. So I definitely think this deck is has a high ceiling for potential, and it's explosive, has very high resource pool with all of its zombie cards, Mizukis, its Unizombies, and also has access to Fairy Tale Snow, which is one of the most insane cards in the game in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm going to go with the Lightsworn Zombie Lawn Mowing deck for my number 6 pick. Number 5, Mermails. One of my favorite decks personally. This deck, I think, is always a solid pick, at least during the start of any format. Has a lot of answers to cards with pops like Infantry and Marksman at its disposal. Has very, very powerful OTKs through cards like Neptibus and Abyss Megalo. Being able to just, summon a Neptibus with any other water in hand, as you guys know, is a OTK versus a clear board. Also, Brionac is back in the game. So all of your Atlanteans are a +2 now. You can ditch your Infantries and your Marksmans off of Brionac, and they will trigger their effects off of that, as well as you're getting to remove a card from the field with Brio. So all your Atlanteans just turned into +2s, which is insane. I cannot wait to play this deck with Brio. But yeah, and then Toad is still in the thing too. So Bahamut Shark Toad, Norden is still on the list, still not banned. Kind of jumbling my words there a bit, but so yeah, the plays with Bahamut Shark and Toad are still very, very real. So I definitely think that Mermail will still see play in this format. And we also saw it top some regionals with Full Power Zoo. So I definitely would not count this deck out, guys, especially since it got a buff with Brio. So I've said for a long time, Water is one of those decks I only feel like will get better, and it has, because Brionac is back in the game. Its errata doesn't change the fact of what it does for Water. So the card is still very, very good and will still definitely see play in Water. So I'm going with Mermail for my number 5 pick. Number 4, the Wind Witch Artifact Invoked deck. So this deck's pretty consistent in what it does. especially with your Invoked engine, playing 9 copies of Alistair, 3 Field Spell, 3 Alistair, 3 Terraforming. That's very consistent. The Invincible Crystal Wing combo with the Wind Witches, 1 card Invincible Crystal Wing that can't be destroyed is very, very good. And Crystal Wing's a big problem for a lot of decks. So that's very good, especially when you can't like Regeki and destroy it. And then the trap cards, all the artifact trap cards, Sanctum, D-Barrier, Strike, Empty, or not Emptiness, Warning. Emptiness is gone. Thank God that card's gone. So I definitely think that this deck could continue to see a lot of play. It's definitely a very good deck. It does like struggle sometimes if they do get over your board to be able to make it again. If you make like your Invincible Crystal Wing and like your Invoked guy, and they do get over that, you can struggle. But a lot of times, if you make that with D-Barrier and like another trap set, like you're gonna win the game because that's such a powerful commanding board. To be able to answer, because you have a D-Barrier to shut them off for a turn, a Crystal Wing, a Book of Moon, and like another trap set. So that's a very commanding board for any deck to be able to get over, and they'd have to have everything to be able to out that board. So I definitely think that this deck is still a very good pick. So I'm going to go with the Wind Witch Artifact Invoked deck for my number 4 pick. Number 3, Infernoid. So I definitely think this deck is still going to be a thing, guys. At least before Ghost Ash comes out. Grass is still at 3, so you still have your power card is untouched. Very high resource pool. Lots of monsters just banish out to continue summoning your Infernoids. As well as like you can play like Lightsworns in here and stuff to mill more cards to get more resources in the graveyard. Because reviving board wipes in the form of Anoku and Deviati is super, super good. Continually coming back, Dark Hole and Heavy Storm, as long as you have the monsters to banish for them, which you usually do, is insane for this deck, I feel like. And just for like the game in general, that's like really good. And also access to still triple Fairy Tale Snow. Do I need to explain why that card's insane? It's not once per turn. Book of Moons, anything, and it's a body that you can summon during the battle phase. So it leads to a lot of OTKs. So I definitely think Infernoid is still going to be a very good deck. So I'm going to go with Infernoid for my number 3 pick. And like on top of it, a lot of decks just struggle against this matchup. The Feast combo turn 1 is insane. That's such a hard board to break through. So I'm going to go with Infernoid for my number 3 pick. Number 2, Paleozoic. So this deck's going to be a number 2 pick. No hits to the deck. It actually got a buff with Imperial Order coming back. Toad's still at 3. No hits to Toad. Tons of disruption. Lots of resources. This deck's grind games and incredible. All the disruption traps with like your Book of Moon, your MST, your Karma Cut. So and then all of your strikes and everything. This deck just has a ton of disruption. It has flexibility too in the form that you could play the 40 card variant or the 60 card variant of Paleo. And your Zoo matchup is very, very good as well. This deck has a very, very favorable Zoo matchup, especially if you go first. But even if you go second, your matchup is still favorable. So I definitely think Paleozoic's still going to be a very, very good deck. If not the best deck, I could see this deck actually becoming the best deck, and I may actually be wrong, and it will not be the second best deck. It could actually be the best deck. But for now, I'm going to put it at number 2 with the potential to become number 1. So Paleozoic for my number 2 pick. Honorable mentions include ABC, Darklaw.Dex, BA, Blue Eyes, and Pure Magispectors with Ties of the Brethren. And finally, for number 1, we have Zoo. Yeah, this was pretty obvious. 1 and 2 card combos still has a ton of them. I've seen combos I think let you go as high as like a +5, but there's easy like +2 and +4 1 and 2 card combos. So there's still a ton of that. And it has access to all of its traps, D-Barrier, Strike, Stormings, all the powerful trap cards that this deck had access to. It still does. The Lunalight combo is all still a thing for, I don't know why. That honestly should have gone, but that's a different topic for another time. And then just all the pluses it can generate. So I still definitely think Zoo will still be the best deck. Dryden's still a great card. Dryden plus traps is still very good. So But yeah, so that's just my thoughts, guys. You guys let me know what you guys think. Is there anything I missed? Did I put anything too high? Did I put anything too low? You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you have any topics you would like to see in a future top 10 video, leave those down in the comment section below, or on Twitter, which you should go and follow me on. I will leave that link also down in the comment section down below. And in the next couple days, guys, or the next week or so, you can expect to see deck profiles from me for the March 31st, 2017 format. I know I have a couple decks that I am probably looking at playing, so I will have those profiles out for you guys soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Spawny out.